Hey
Good.
YouTube, Puff and Snuff here, Ian checking in as always from beautiful Northeast Ohio. And the keen observers among you will notice I am not alone. I am joined again by Snuffanybody McFeegle from beautiful Denmark. How you doing today?
I am doing very good. It's evening here, as you would guess, time difference, Denmark, United States. Brilliant. Good to be back on the line with you here.
Yes.
Today, uh, we've decided to look at one of the OSP snuffs. In this case, batch number 3. I've been lacking about doing reviews of these 3 snuffs. I have been trying to figure these 3 snuffs out by only by the scent of my nose. I haven't read any descriptions. I haven't seen any of you guys' videos yet. So I'm trying to do this the artisan way by only working with my nose.
Very good. And a little secret for everybody else. Before we pressed record, we talked a little bit about batches 1 and 2, and Snuff Anybody's description of what he picked up in the nose is so incredibly close to what Chris has written in the descriptions. It's almost scary how accurate his nose is. So what we will do is I usually start my videos before I sniff by reading the description. I will hold off on that part until after your nose has weighed in on the subject. So
Thank
um,
you.
we kind of decided ahead of time here that neither one of our cameras right now are kind of picking up the etching on the tin. Maybe a little bit there on yours, but
Yeah.
it is identical to tins 1 and 2. The only difference is it says number 3 on the front. It's the same nice quality metal can, nice tight screw top. It's not as prone to the dings and dents as a Tote can. So
Nope.
nice packaging
Yes.
from Chris over at OSP.
Definitely the best quality snuff tin on the market today.
Yes,
Uh, yeah.
tins are nice, but what's important is what's inside.
So
So if we crack it
let's
open
pop that one up.
and
And I can tell you that the snuff is medium brown with a very slightly reddish tint. I would say just slightly reddish sheen to it. The grind is when you go against other bigger manufacturers, the grind is medium, just perfectly medium. And just poking my finger around in the snuff gives me this much snuff on my finger. So I'm gonna deem it medium in moisture level, and you've never ever felt a snuff this silky, smooth, soft. The tin was full when I cracked it, but pressing my finger down into it just compresses the snuff way down in the bottom. And this is the best you can get in a snuff. Medium moisture, medium grind, silky smooth.
very, very easy to take. I think. For me,
Yes,
this is the easiest to insufflate of the 3. I
I
think
agree.
1 was a little even though it was mentholated, it would make you think this should be easy to take. I thought 1 was actually the trickiest to take without breathing a little too far in. 2 was measurably easier, and then this is exceptionally easy, I think, to get into
Yes,
the nose.
this
So
is but this is so easy that it uh, almost lures you into taking big pinches, which I normally love. But with this snuff, it's a flaw. You shouldn't take a too big pinch of this because it will overpower you. It will rush itself through the scent profile of the snuff, and you will get too quickly to the end of what this snuff can give you. So I would say double apple core at the double apple seed at the max. Don't go for the pumpkin. Don't go for the watermelon seed.
Yeah, this is like any good quality artisan snuff. I think it is something best enjoyed in small amounts and not too frequently after one another, because the aroma changes over time and it lasts a good amount of time. And rather than continually shoveling large amounts up your nose, best to take some time with it, appreciate everything that first pinch had to offer, before getting back into it. And to me, the aroma on this, I almost don't even want to pinch it. I just like smelling it out of the tin, because the tin aroma, to me, is fantastic. I am a gin drinker by nature, and
And the juniper berry is very profound. It's the primal scent of the tin note.
yes, and
There is a wee bit of citrus, which I'm gonna call lemon zest. Just for the
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I've read the description and he has not. So to hear, we'll get to the description later. But yes, there is a very subdued, I think, in the tin note, citrus aroma. To me, the juniper is the primary scent, and in a way that it is more prominent and more potent than snuffs that are specifically labeled as being gin or juniper.
yes,
So,
and also I'm a chef and coming from kitchens. This is not like dried juniper like you would get in a can at the supermarket. This is freshly picked juniper because the scent is different. When you freshly pick junipers, you get a fruity overtone to it, but you can still taste and smell that core, the pit inside the juniper that will give off like a hard seed fruit. It's like a kind of not almondy, but it has that bitter almond thingy going for it, but it's still juniper. Oh, this is very, very, very good.
so I've been warming in the palm of my hand here, a
I have.
nice, reasonable sized pinch here. So if
So,
you're ready,
with this snuff, do you prefer the straight pinch or the boxcar?
with this, I typically do a straight pinch. I prefer not to uh, handle the snuff directly in the tin with artisan blends, so I do use a spoon to take it
Okay.
from the tin, and then I warm it in the palm of my hand, and then pinch from my hand before I actually
Okay.
take it.
With these three snuffs, I have been running barefoot through them.
I don't
I think
expect that they will last long enough for them to start growing molds and funky things. So these are
exactly.
probably safe to handle, because these aren't ones for me that I expect to go back into storage for any amount of time. But
Oh,
just out of
and
habit.
and I will also say that Ian is doing his pinch in a closed indoor room, and I'm sitting here in a fresh 11 o'clock nightly draft, so I have cold air running over my shoulders and head. So we will get the two different things that this snuff can do for us. So, skål min vän.
Cheers. Oh.
Okay. just initially when I insufflate this, I get a very distinct barnyard scent, and it's gone within a split second, but it's there when I insufflate. And it's good, it's pleasant, I like it. It will put off some people at first pinch. Second pinch, when you've had it for just 3 or 4 pinches, you will learn to love it because it's there and it's brilliant. For me, what comes out first is juniper. I get something like quinine that gives me bitterness. I do get something that reminds me of bergamot, but not. The citrus is there, but not as present as it was in the tin note. What I do get in the nose is I get a slightly bready biscuity scent or taste. Because the bready biscuity taste I get like in the back of my nose, it almost feels like it's not throat hit in any way, but the scent of this snuff is so powerful that I can taste it down in my mouth from this just first insufflation. And sweet and sour, and it has a tingly sensation that starts at the bottom of your nose, running up to your sinuses, to just the top of your nose, where it just has that almost drug-like tingling feeling that just keeps me coming back for more.
Yeah, I've said in my other videos, which I know you haven't seen,
Nope.
that this is my favorite of the old mill. I thought, or I'm sorry, of the open source. Number 1 was very good. I thought number 2 was excellent. Number 3 is kind of in a class of its own for me. There is that nice burn right away when you take it.
Yes.
And it lingers for a while. It's not a quick hit, and it takes some time for that to diffuse. Despite that, I don't get I get the nose feel of potent nicotine in here, but I don't get the sensation outside of the nose of this being specifically high in nicotine, especially compared to number 2.
Nope.
I agree with the aroma. The first thing I get is the juniper. It's that, and to me, if you're chasing a gin and tonic snuff, this to me is significantly better in that regard than the Sam Gawith product, and this brings a lot more. Sorry, that was my phone. And this brings a lot more to the party than just the single note of the Gawith. There is some citrusy and citrus-like aromas going on underneath there. I understand and agree with the bready quality, and I think when you hear what's in this, you will understand why that is. There's also something to me, something slightly, I have to be careful how I say this, but woodsy, but not in the sense of a wood smoke or of a more like the aroma of wood, the aroma of timber, perhaps, than tobacco that's been. Should not be confused woodsy the way Latakia or a dark-fired Kentucky tobacco.
Oh no, there is no smoke here.
No, none at all. But there is a wood-like aroma that just kind of sits underneath all of that and props the rest of those aromas up.
My description of the wood scent would be, if you've ever walked through a northern wood forest after a heavy rain, an oak forest, that slightly not moldy, but that very fresh woody scent you get from hardwood forest that's wet.
Yes.
That's the scent I pick up here. But it's more feeling than it is a scent. It's something that creeps up on you. And talking about creeping up on you, we're now at the point where I get the first back trip. And this must be said about this snuff. It has a deeply intense back drip. And I mean that in the most, in the best way I can. Some snuffs are irritating in the back drip. They claw your throat. This doesn't, but it's not an easy snuff to cope with in the back drip if you're not used to high-end tobacco. Because this is why this snuff is so intense in the back drip. It's an all lamina snuff. Chris has taken out the stem and the ribs of the leaf, so we're here with a snuff that couldn't be of higher quality, even if you spent more money on it. And with any high-end tobacco product, it is gonna irritate your mucous membranes, but it's in the good way. And when this snuff starts to give you back drip, this is also when the nicotine starts to creep up on you. Because now I feel that pulse going on, and I can feel the nicotine just calming me down, mellowing me out, and this is where you get all the nicotine from this snuff. And it's mainly in the drip.
And this may be the one place where we have a slightly different experience with this snuff. I want more back drip than I'm getting. To me, I do get some back drip, and I agree with what you've said about the back drip, except for the quantity. I
didn't talk about quantity. I just said it was there.
Quite a bit of this wants to run forward on me. I get much more forward drip on this than back drip. To me, of the three open sources, this is the least back drip that I've experienced.
Okay.
And it is, the back drip for me that is there is very nice. It is very pleasant. It adds, and usually that is a hallmark of a very well-made snuff, is that the back drip will enhance the experience rather than be an annoyance.
Yes.
And it's very good. I just wish, for me, that it were a little heavier.
Okay. Because what I also get in the back drip, and this is why I am so deeply, deeply impressed by Chris's snuffs, is that they will evolve. Because now that I've got the back drip as well, I am now getting something slightly fruity. And this is all from my throat and my taste buds here. And it's a slightly bitter fruit that doesn't taste anything like olives, but gives me the reminiscence of olive. Green, fully developed olive. But it doesn't taste anything like it, but for some reason it gives me the feeling of olive. It's very herbal, and it's pleasant, but it's intense. It's there. It wants to be noticed. The backdrip is the third flavor. With this snuff, if you can bring yourself to blow your nose, and it's almost, pulling your arm, blow your nose, because it will give you that third flavor. You get the insufflation flavor, you get backdrip flavor, and you get a blowout flavor. The three places a snuff can work, and it gives you 3 different flavors.
Yeah, and speaking of drip and blowing it out and all of that, one thing, and this I don't know is so much of a review comment as it is a note on one's particular body chemistry, because this will vary from person to person. However, even the mentholated batch number 1, 1, 2, and 3, I have experienced 0 issues with clogging from any of them. None of these have caused any of that swelling of the sinus membranes for me, and there's no risk of that unpleasantness. So we've reviewed it. We haven't scored it yet. Are you ready for me to tell you what is in this thing? Okay. So it is aged burley, stewed in a tincture of Bombay Sapphire London Dry Gin.
Okay.
Rose petals.
Okay.
Lemon balm leaf.
Oh, cool.
And calendula, which I had to look up. Apparently that's in the marigold family, which I thought odd because marigolds don't have a particularly lovely floral aroma. And I'm not sure I personally can identify that in the blend, but that's what's in there. Is mixed in with toasted Colombian seco, so I'm guessing that's where that breadiness is coming from, before being topped with cypress oil and a touch of bergamot.
Lovely! So my nose still works.
Yeah, so you were pretty dead on in picking out what's in there. Like I said, the only thing that I kind of have found missing, and in there is I'm not quite sure what to make of the calendula.
That might be where I'm picking up reminiscence of quinine. That profused bitterness, but I also know that there is quite a lot of quinine in Bombay Sapphire.
Yep.
So it could also come from there.
Yeah, and Bombay Sapphire is not a gin that I prefer to drink, personally.
No.
I don't care. I know it's very popular here, especially in the States, especially with the 20-something and 30-something
because the bottle is beautiful.
It is an attractive bottle.
Yes.
It is not my preferred gin to drink. I'm a Hendrix guy, in case anyone wants to send me a birthday present in a couple months.
I like Bulldog gin.
Yeah, but in the aroma that it lends, Chris has really managed to pull out all of the aroma of that gin. And then everything else I think that he adds to it makes it better rather than takes away from anything. So before we score this, any final thoughts from you on batch number 3?
Yes. I'm having a hard time scoring these 3 snuffs because when you score, I always have to, compare it to favorite snuff and least favorite snuff. I've had, my scoring system is 1 to 5, just like Squinty. So, 1 is a horrible snuff, and 5 is, perfect, couldn't be better. And I've had snuffs that I've scored 5. And I've also had a couple of snuffs that, I haven't done reviews of but that was ones. I don't want to go online butchering other people's product, and also there might be people out there with different tastes that would love a snuff that I'm scoring a 1. But I've tried both 1s and 5s. And this is kind of in a league of its own. And I've had just very short conversations with Chris before receiving the products, and said to him that I was gonna review these snuffs on an artisan level and only compare him to other artisans. And even comparing him to other artisans, this is different, better. So that's going to reflect in my score.
And so what is your score?
Chris, I've had to come up with a completely new scoring system. Normally I would go 1 to 5. This is now going 1 to Chris. Chris has pulled out the tobacco muse out of the closet, listened to all her brilliant little notes, and made a perfect snuff. It couldn't have been better. There isn't anything that could be improved in a juniper heavy snuff.
I could not agree more. And you know, it would be easy to watch this video and think it's you know, a shield job, but I've said this in other videos, and I'm sure it's true of you. We've paid for this product.
Yes.
You know, this cost us. It may have cost you more for shipping going across the Atlantic. I don't know what your cost was, but cost to me is the same as the cost to you.
Yes.
If these snuffs were average, mediocre, or otherwise, I would certainly say so. But this is
and
a
also
very good snuff. I score these from 1 to 10. This is probably somewhere between a 14 and a 15 and a half.
Yes.
It is emotionally difficult for me to say that this is better than my otherwise favorite artisan snuff, Old Mill Evangeline. But the truth of the matter is, this is better than any other artisan snuff I've had, including Evangeline, and it is worthy of any amount of high praise anyone wants to heap on it. It is an absolute gem of a product. The only way it could be better is if Chris,
the tin was the double size.
Is if Chris were independently wealthy, did not have to break even or try to make money on this, and he could just send me a dump truck full of it free of charge. That is the only way this could be better. But as a tobacco product, as a snuff, truly remarkable. And Chris, well done, sir.
Praise, mate. I agree. I can't say enough good things about it. I think that Chris deserves to get a true, honest opinion. And even though he is my good friend, I would have slaughtered this if it was horrible. But I can't. I can't find anything that I don't like about it.
Yep.
I've tried. For Chris's sake, I've really tried to find things that he could improve, to give him constructive criticism. I can't do it. I can't find anything that my knowledge says this could have been done better. I will say to all the snuff users out there, the one thing that this snuff will not, or I will not accept that you will do with this snuff, is have casual pinches. Don't pinch this while you're in the hurry, when you're at work, when your mind is busy with all kind of shit. This deserves your full attention. This deserves a quiet moment. And it deserves that you use the time that this snuff can give you. Because this snuff is what you and I have said it to be. But it will change with your body chemistry. It will enhance your mental state. If you're stressed and pissed off it will accommodate that and will work with your stress levels. If you're mellow and cool, then you're in that state. And this snuff works any fucking way. But it deserves mental depth.
Yeah, if you can give it the time and attention it deserves, it is worth the artisan price that
Yes.
that it requires to get a hold of a tin. It is worth more, I think, than the price of the tin.
Oh, easy.
If it's going to, there are many snuffs that are very good that are perfect for casual use.
Yes.
If you try to use, I think, any of the open source snuffs that way, you are wasting your money and your time.
Yes, and also wasting Chris' brilliant work. These open source project snuffs are easily the cheapest at the moment artisan snuffs that you can get your hands on, and for the quality, for the craftsmanship that has gone into these snuff, I would have no problem paying the double.
Yep.
For this tin, after trying it, after really going into depth with it, I wouldn't mind paying the $20 bill that I think it deserves.
Yeah, well, and I guess on a closing note here, and we'll wrap this up. Do keep in mind, folks, that if you're not on Snuff House or if you're not in the Facebook groups and you haven't seen the news, the price on open source is going to go up. When he releases batch number 4, his pricing will increase to something that will be a little more, will allow him to sustain the project. So if you are, I don't know that it has changed. If you were to order 1 through 3 now, I believe they may still be available at a regular price or at the original price. You would want to ask Chris to be sure. There will be a link to the website and certainly the email address that you use to contact him with any questions or to get a hold of this stuff yourself. It'll be right down there in the description. So,
Yes.
Good to talk to you. Good to finally get a review of this gem online.
Yes.
So that is all for me. Sounds like that's probably all for Snuffanybody, and
Yes, it
hopefully
is.
you'll see us both around soon with some more tobacco reviews.
Goodbye.